Mercedes-Benz West. We're closer than you think.
New season! First episode of what I'm going to call Ben Hochman and Ben Frederickson in a Mercedes.
How about two Benz and a Benz?
That works too. That works too. Man, this is an awesome car from
Mercedes-Benz West.
How do you feel driving a Mercedes-Benz C300 coupe?
I'm going to drive us to Cafe Napoli, and they're going to park us right out front.
Yeah.
That's how good I feel.
The valet's not going to take the part in the back with something like this.
The first time, they'll be like, yeah, keep that in front.
I like it. I like it. Well, you look sharp driving it, and man, this car has so many cool things to it. It's a Mercedes-Benz, for goodness sake. Adaptive brake technology. Oh, man. Full-time 4x4, 4matic, even some hands-free access.
Hands-free?
Hands-free access.
Should I do it?
No, not driving hands-free.
Oh, okay. No, you can open the trunk. You don't have to take the key out of your pocket.
Yeah, that kind of
Even
thing.
You could drive this one, man.
Let's not get carried away.
It's got collision prevention assist.
Yes.
It basically tells you when someone's in your blind spot. It keeps you from having an accident when you're driving. It's a great vehicle. Yeah. And we're happy to be partnered with Mercedes-Benz West for the new season of two Benz, man. It's been a while.
It has been.
We haven't.
It has been.
We haven't caught up. Oh, God. We haven't caught up since spring training. The Cardinal season is underway. Hockey playoffs coming, and of course some college news. Where do you want to start?
Well, man, let's jump right into the Cardinals. I mean, everyone's talking about the Cardinals in St. Louis. There's a lot to be frustrated about, Ben. Some of the big names, notably Dexter Fowler and Matt Carpenter, have batting averages under the Mendoza line, or as my teammates at Clayton High School called it in reference to my batting average, the Bendoza line. Under 200. It's frustrating, but it's early. Are you optimistic at all? What do you got?
Well, I think there's reason for concern. The biggest reason is the bullpen, man. I know that Trevor Rosenthal is back, and he's looked good in his first outing back. I know that Tyler Lyons is on his way. They can't get here soon enough.
Right.
Brett Cecil was the big addition, and the lefty from Toronto, he's struggled. And I think I think he's got to get settled in. You also have some concerns about Sungwon Oh. You have some concerns about Jonathan Broxton. The guy who's looked good so far is Matt Bowman. I think we're going to see his role increase, but that bullpen has to get on track, or else they're going to keep wasting good starts.
Will the Cards make the playoffs? I don't know. You know who didn't make the playoffs? The St. Louis Blues. That's what we call a segue in the business, boys. Let's talk about the Blues. I'm real excited. I'm heading up to St. Paul this week to cover the Blues at the Wild. And, of course, the biggest storyline is Coach Mike Yeo against the team that fired him, against a team that he previously took on a playoff run. Now he's trying to end their playoffs with St. Louis. What are your thoughts on the Blues?
Well, I think, the Blues have been an interesting team this year because it wasn't that long ago that Kevin Shattenkirk is traded away, and general manager Doug Armstrong says, look, we wouldn't make this trade if we were contending for a Stanley Cup. So at that point you think, well, this team is in transition, which it is, but they're not going to make it. Credit to them. They had an easier schedule to finish the season, and they played great hockey. Yep. And they entered the postseason with some pep in their step, and they're clearly playing an inspired brand under Mike Yeo. He deserves credit for that. I'm also intrigued by, I know there'll be a lot of stories about Mike Yeo going back to Minnesota, and naturally that comes with a lot of emotions, the team that fired you. I'm interested in the X's and O's aspect of that. Sure. There are a lot of guys on that team that he coached. Yeah. He knows their strengths and weaknesses. He knows he should know how to slow those guys down. Slow some of those guys down. So I'm wondering if he can put that knowledge into effect. If this team wins this first round, they could become a beloved team, man. I mean, this is a scrappy team that wasn't really supposed to be here.
Young, scrappy, and hungry.
If they go on a run, this city will get fully on board, because right now I think there's a little cautious optimism about them.
I'm fired up, of course, to watch Tarasenko, who the pun intended, the Sharks ate up. That's a terrible pun. Went into the Sharks'
You're nervous.
mouth.
You're nervous. You're excited.
The jaws of the Sharks defense.
Sure.
In the playoffs last year, hopefully for the Blues, Tarasenko with Schwartz, and who knows who will be in the centerman for that line. Play great, but I want to talk about Mizzou basketball, the old alma mater who won 8 games last season, might win 8 in non-conference play alone this coming season, because they got the #1 player in the country, Michael Porter Jr., and it might not just be him.
Yeah, he's actually turned into their best recruiter.
Yeah.
He had, some of the guys on campus. Kevin Knox is another name that we're going to be tracking. Jeremiah Tillman, we just found out today before we shot this video that he's gotten out of his release at Illinois. He's obviously a target for Missouri as well. And then you have you have other names that are still out there. Mark Smith,
Yeah.
Edwardsville, one of the best players I saw watching high school basketball this season.
He's a shooter.
He's still undecided as well. So a lot of talent in this area that has not decided where it wants to play yet. And just the excitement about Mizzou, the excitement about SLU.
Yeah.
Don't forget that SLU has some guys on board that they deserve some attention too. So I'm just excited for next season. And the way this past season ended with March Sadness here in our viewing area.
March Sadness.
I think it'll be fun to actually be looking forward to college basketball for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Well, let's keep driving. This thing's awesome.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah. Mercedes! Yeah!
Two Bins is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz West, a Plaza Motor Company.